I tried so hard not to do that. And the first thing I did. Okay. Bear with me again, guys. My poor everything is broken. Everything. My phone stand's been held together with tape. My phone is now in 3 pieces. I haven't been able to get a new one because I've had a few unexpected bills keep coming up. So every time I think I come out on top, no, but that's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, now I have once again forgotten to light the mosquito coils, so bear with me for a moment while I do that. Things have been a bit crazy around here. I still haven't posted a couple of parcels. A couple of you are waiting for me to post them. I thought I would get that done yesterday, but the weather's been crazy, things have been crazy, there's all sorts of things happening, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get that done. Of course, Australia Post is still not accepting parcels to Canada, which is just as frustrating for us guys as it is for you. But I did have... My dog's going to go off a nut because the postman's here. She can't stand the postman. I don't know what their gripe is with each other. No, you go and lay down, please. Don't you yell at him. Okay, mosquito coil set. Leave him alone, please. I know as soon as I start getting into this, she'll start. I'd really like it if you'd leave him alone, mate. Oh, I might even get a parcel today from the postie. Something that I shouldn't have purchased because it was not within the budget, but that happens sometimes, I suppose. So yesterday I had my appointment with my doctor. I go every 4 weeks to see him, and it's a fair hike. It's a bit of an... I don't go to local doctors. I go to a doctor I've been seeing for... Gee, it must be close to 20 years now, maybe longer. And he used to be local, but he moved, so I now follow him. So it's a whole day of it, you know. And yesterday... Go and lay down, please, and leave him alone. Please leave him alone. Yesterday, I decided to pop into the op shop near the doctor's. Now, it's only a small op shop. I rarely go there because, well, I usually just breeze in and out because they don't normally have anything worth getting. In the 12 or so years that I've been going to that particular one, I've previously walked away with, you know, maybe 5 things in total the whole time. But anyway, this first piece I'm going to show you is not from there. This is from my girlfriend because I called in to see her yesterday too. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's obviously from a pencil case or something because it's got smiggle on it. But it's one of those colour changing sequined fabrics. And yeah, girlfriend gave me this, so I thought it might be cool to make a journal or something. So I've got that. These were in the scrap bucket. So I think you fill a bucket for, I can't remember if it's 75 cents, or I think it's $1.50 now. But of course, if you don't fill it, they don't charge you the full amount. So just, that's doubled over. And I did say this is a vintage haul. I will get to the vintage, sorry. I just wanted to share a couple of other things I've got. So someone's obviously hand dyed these. And I do use these on other projects from time to time. So I picked those up. They, honestly, I would have paid a cent each or something for these, if that. Just these little bits of hand-dyed cotton. I picked this up. Again, I probably didn't even pay for it, or it wouldn't have cost much. This is folded in 4, but the reason I picked this up is because I thought I could make produce bags out of it. So, you know, when you go to buy your groceries, instead of using the plastic bags, put your produce in your net bags. So that's what that's for. Then I got this lovely piece of velvet. It's not a big piece, but it's beautiful colour. Very pretty colour. It's almost like a cornflower blue, maybe. So again, not much there. And these little pieces like this I use in my scrappy vintage journals that I haven't done for a while. I've got this piece too. Don't know if I'll keep this because I'm not fussed on the colour. So I might list this if anyone's interested. It's a green piece of velvet. This bottle green, and it's edge to edge, so selvage to selvage, but it's only this wide. But someone has embroidered 3 bullion roses on it. They're not finished, obviously. There's no leaves or anything on them. But I ummed and ahed over that. And then now that I've got it in the daylight, it's not my favourite thing. I'm not overly fussed on it, so I might list that on my de-stash page. And I'll try and list things today because I do need to get a bit more money in to pay some bills again. Surprise, surprise. So, I also got this piece of blanketing, which I initially thought was wool, but I'm not entirely sure now because it's sort of got a bit of a shine to it. So I'm just going to snip a bit off. It's not a full blanket, it's just a piece. But I often pick these up if they're cheap enough to use in needle books. So I'm just going to snip it off, and I'm not going to hold it under the camera because I don't want to burn the camera. But it is wool because it hasn't burnt. So it just singed, which wool does. So there we have it, it is wool. I picked it up thinking it was pure wool, but then when I got it home, I thought, oh, it's got a bit of a shimmer. Maybe it's synthetic, but it's wool. So there we go. That's good. That's what we wanted. Now I've got all these other things I want to show you. Again, this is not all vintage. I was aiming for vintage, but I've got a mixture of things here. I suppose I may as well. I'll put those aside for a second. I bought this scarf at the op shop yesterday for $1. It's huge. It's about 2.5 meters by 1.8 meters. It's lovely for $1. Very nice scarf. I'll probably just wear that as a scarf in winter. Okay. Little scrap piece of I thought that was cute. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but a little piece of fabric. Now some of these I might move on because when I've got them home I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't know if I'll actually use that now. So we've got, this has obviously been used for something. You can see it was stitched all the way around the outside, so I'm assuming from the shape of it, potentially a cushion. There's a bit of yellow in here, so it might need a bit of a wash and soak, but I believe this is a chintz. So that one might get moved on. I thought it would be good for, maybe it will. I still haven't decided. I picked these up thinking they'd be good for needle books, but they'd possibly also be good for those Fleur Wood style collages. Then I've got this piece. Some of these are samples. See, they've come up out of the sample books, which I don't even think you get anymore. So lovely, beautiful yellow. I can imagine that as a needle book. I liked that one. Not colours I normally go for, but I thought that was quite cute. This piece fascinates me. I don't know what it is. It's sort of shiny, but it's, I don't know, can you see that? Imagine that as a needle book. Again, it's just another, I was going to say sample piece, but it has been stitched around the edges as well. But see, it's got the holes, so it's come from the book, from one of the sample books. But let me try and get this into shot. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Again, not colours I'd normally go for, and not fabrics I'd normally go for either, but I can imagine that as a needle book or in one of those collaged embroideries. So we got that one. It's a real chocolatey colour, that. It's funny actually, because in some light it looks like chocolate, in other lights it's almost khaki. Then I got this piece, and again, not something I'd normally pick up, but I thought it might be another good needle book. It's a tapestry, or tapestry like upholstery fabric, I guess. It's just that rectangle piece. I really liked this piece. This is, it was written on the edge and it had this jagged bit here, and I've snipped it off, and I've snipped off what it bloody was. So obviously we've got the year here, 1999, but it's a, I can't remember if it's linen or cotton. Looks more like linen, doesn't it? So I've got that piece of that. Again, I thought that might be a good needle book. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not entirely convinced I will use these florals. They're not my, I used to collect florals like this years ago. I will most likely keep this piece because it's another Sanderson. I'm slowly getting a collection of Sandersons. Look at that. So, yeah. I'm actually looking for, I don't think this is big enough. My dad's restoring we think it's an oak chair that's about 150 years old, and he pulled it all apart before I got to look what it was like, so I haven't been able to do any research on it to find out exactly what it is. But given its age and it's the detail in it, he wants a piece of upholstery fabric, and I think a piece of vintage Sanderson would be the best way to go on it, to be honest. I don't know if you can see that. Look at this spider on this paper bag. Can you just look how tiny it is? Oops, he just fell off. Tiny little I think we used to call those money spiders. I've lost him now. I tried to move him aside so he wouldn't get squished. Okay, I also picked up this piece of tapestry. Is it called tapestry? I've got a mental blank. It's joined down the middle, which is interesting. And the way it's joined, to me it looks like it's come off a lounge or a chair of some kind. It looks spotlessly clean. I don't think it's been used. But again, I could imagine that either as a needle book or on a needle book. So again, like I said, I'm not convinced I'm actually going to use these. So they might some of these florals might get listed in my D-stash. I picked this up just because I thought it was really cute. It's a brushed cotton or a flannelette. And there's not much there. It's selvage to selvage, but oh no, it's not. It's cut off. So, no idea what I'm going to do with that, but I thought it was really cute. When I used to go camping regularly, I used to collect little caravan fabrics, and not that I've got many. It's probably the second piece I've got. Then I found this, which looks, I want to say it looks vintage. It could be reproduction. I don't know. Yeah, I think it might be reproduction because it feels a bit like polyester or polycotton, to be honest. And then there's a slightly larger piece of that. But I thought that would be nice for needle books. Then this is like that vintage pink that I've got. And I think I remembered last night what I think it's called. Is it? I might be wrong. Probably am. The word pinwailing came to mind. Is that what this is? It's like the stuff that you used to use to make nightgowns and babies' gowns and things with. So I've got that lovely pink one that was my grandmother's. That was, pretty sure they said it was 1950s, 1960s. And this is very similar. So there's two little pieces of this, which I quite like. I'm into these vintage florals at the moment. Then this is a nice piece. This is vintage. I can't remember what the fabric type is, but look at this. This was actually a sleeve that had been cut out. So I've got the front and the back. It's a funny shape. My hair is everywhere because I haven't tied it back. But look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? It's almost like a wool blend, this one. Very nice vintage fabric, that one. That would be, I'm assuming, probably 1960s, 70s even. Now, when I first got home, I thought immediately that I would list these, but the more I look at them, I might keep one or two. These are sample pieces, I believe, because they've got, oh, it's a bit yellowed down that edge. They've got the pinking sheared edge, and they've got, some of them have got the holes in the end. These ones have been cut off, but they look like vintage, possibly 70s sample cushion panels, pillowcase panels. So that one's pretty cool. I don't think I'd use this one, so I might list that one. I think I will wash these first. Some of them are a bit yellowed. So I've got that one. It's sort of, I don't know if you can actually see the colours clearly there, but it's, oh, I wouldn't say peach. It's almost mustard and a rose dusty pink on that one. And then I've got this one. This is pretty. This would be 70s, I'd say. The four of them, I would say, are 70s. They'd all be the same. They would have all come from the same sample book. That's one edge. The other side sort of mirrors it. It's just hard to get it all in the shot here. So pink and grey and white on that one. I don't think I will use that one now that I'm looking at it again. But these next two, at least one of them, I might. So I quite like this one. And the quality of this is much better. So because it's overlocked, I'm assuming it's come from a different sample book. And these pieces are bigger. See, we've got this extra piece at the top here, which does have the holes. So you can see it did come from a sample book, but it's still folded in half. But have a look at that. Now what I was thinking last night when I had another look at it was, imagine that on a needle book wrapped around as a cover. It's quite stunning, that one. And then I've got the same in a pink. And this one I really like. I think I'll keep this one. The more I look at it, the more I like it. And you know what? When I was younger, I absolutely detested prints like this. Couldn't stand them. Look at that. Of course, it wraps around. So it's a full cushion pillowcase panel. There's a bit of pink on there. Hopefully that will wash out. A bit of pink smudge or something. Then I found this piece of vintage sheet. This would be 1970s, I'd say. So there's a bit of that there. So I could potentially share some of that one. And then I found this, and looking from the colour and the print and the weave of the fabric, I believe this is probably the same vintage as the mattress covers I got recently before Christmas from the market. I dropped my scissors, they fell in the bag, sorry, I was looking for them. Look at this. So it's a bit of an open weave. It's a lovely quality fabric, so it hasn't been used. It's not a huge amount, but yes, I believe this would be potentially 1960s. So that's those bits, but wait, there's more. If you were watching, I think, was it before Christmas? I can't remember now. Recently, last time I went out, I picked up this little floral plate that I said to you, isn't it pretty? I really liked this. I think they charged me 50 cents for it. And I know it's a, what are they called? The ones that sit under the saucer. Little dessert plate, I suppose. I don't know. Can't remember what they're called. Yesterday, when I went to a different shop, I found this for 50 cents. Look at that. So all I need to do now is find a matching saucer. I thought that was so pretty, that set, that print. I haven't seen that one before. As I mentioned last time, I used to collect all the vintage china when I was doing high tea for charity. I used to host them. I got this piece of lace yesterday for, I don't think she even charged me for that. Another piece of lace. It's very, very inexpensive. Look, you can see how rough it is. So I got that to add to my lace collection. I picked up another couple of vintage threads that I add to the needle books or use in vintage embroideries. usually pick these up when I see them for my own personal use. This has got silks in it, which might be handy for something I'll show you up here a bit further. Then I also got, and I don't usually pick up buttons these days, or if I do, I usually only collect mother of pearl. So I picked up these to add to my mother of pearl jar. This one's obviously not mother of pearl, it's just a shell button, but I haven't seen one like that, so I got that one. A few different mother of pearls in there. There's an abalone in there as well. Oops, this bag just split at the side and they came out. So I got those. I picked these up. I'm not sure what they are. I believe they could be mattress buttons. Remember these? They're metal. They're vintage. So I've got green ones and white ones, and the more I thought about them, I think they might potentially be mattress buttons from old mattresses. This one I thought was vintage when I picked it up, but after closer inspection, I don't think it is. That's a modern fabric. It reminds me of something that the golf shirts were made out of in the 80s. But I thought it was a bit unusual, so I picked that one up. And these, they charge these by weight, so I didn't pay much for these at all. I've dropped another one somewhere. This is a, oh, that should be in that other bag. Should be in there. So this is a glass button. Little vintage glass button. And these are all glass as well, but there's some in here that are, I didn't realise they were glass. I liked them. I took a risk with them. And then when I inspected them more closely, they're 1930s Art Deco milk glass buttons. I've got 3 of those. Aren't they stunning? One of these is a bit cleaner. Oh, I see now. I thought there were glass crystals in there, but it's just painted silver because it's coming off some of them. I can see it more clearly outside, but still beautiful milk glass 1930s buttons. This one's not glass, it's the only one in there that's not, but look how pretty it is. Can you see that? I don't know if that lens is picking it up. It's got a pretty little etching, flower etched in it. Another vintage glass one. This is paste, something paste, and the paste has come off. It would have had gold, you can just see. So it would have looked a bit like a crystal or a diamond, the way it would have been done. Another little glass one. Put them back in as I'm going. Of course, as I said, this little pack's all glass. They'll all be possibly 20s, 30s. This one that was a bit unusual, little brown glass one, and if you look closely, and it probably won't pick it up in the monitor, you can actually see the streaks of the different glass through it. This tiny lip, this one is fascinating. It's got, look at that. It's got like moonstone in it. It's quite old. I believe it is possibly Bakelite, the back of it. But yeah, I can't believe I spotted that in all the jars of buttons. Look at that. So that one had to come home. That's a special little one, that one. Another little milk glass button. Another white one. This one you can pick up the different colours of glass in it a bit better. This one, another little glass one, painted one. Put that one back in there. That's that little etched one. Another milk glass one with texture. I don't know if that lens is picking up the detail in these, but that's got all little bumpies on it. Little glass one, and then we go back to these 1930s Art Deco milk glass buttons. So I was quite chuffed with those. Then I've just got some more vintage mother of pearl to add to my collection. And I picked these up, and I thought these were Bakelite, but I don't know. If anyone knows what these are, I mean, I've seen them before, but I don't know what they are. Some of them are glass. There's a couple there that are glass, but yeah. Funny ones those. Not sure what I'll do with those ones. These ones are leather. These are vintage too. These prices aren't what I paid for them. They're just in little bags to try and protect them a bit. So I've got these three large ones. They've either come off a jacket or a piece of furniture. I'm guessing a jacket because this one has been folded up by the looks, and the imprint of the fabric has actually pressed into that leather and it's remained there. And then there's this tiny little leather one, and this one could potentially be off an old pair of boots or something. Another little vintage leather button. So these are all good for when I use vintage textiles to do needle books and journals and things. Now, I don't normally pick up fabric buttons, but some of these were just gorgeous and I couldn't leave them. Some of them are old, some of them aren't. So I'm guessing these, well, they could be old. Silk ones. I mean, they're not, these nylon ones aren't going to be that old. Maybe as old as the 70s, I guess, 80s. Another little nylon silk one. There's another nylon one. Now these would be self-cover buttons. I've got a big box of them lying around somewhere that were my grandmother's. Here's another nylon one, so it's not going to be as old, but cute little fabric on it. That's just a little rogue plastic one. And then I've got, these ones could potentially be a bit older. A little check because they've got a metal shaft. So I've got, what, 1, 2, 5 of those. I wonder if I can clean them up somehow. I don't know. Maybe I should leave them as they are. And then I reckon these ones are quite old. So this one, don't know how I will attach it, but and then this one's actually got the linen in the back, so that makes me think this is potentially 1920s or earlier. So I liked those. They had to come home. And then this is a mixture of, these would potentially be, I don't know, I don't remember when they started doing these again, 80s, 70s. Some of these are original vintage linen, these ones. So these ones here, these cream ones are original vintage linen buttons, which I can never get enough of. And then, silly, a few years ago I had cards of those and I gave them away because I didn't like them, and now I love them. So these ones are going to be, I'm guessing, 80s, 90s, some of these. That's like a jersey fabric. It's the same fabric on both of those. This one's a linen. That one, oh no, I was going to say it could be a little bit older. This is a linen. Another linen. Oh no, that's a jersey, sorry, on that one. It's a shiny polyestery. Could potentially be linen. That's a jersey, that's a jersey. That's either a cotton or a linen on that one. That looks like a chiffon. That looks like a jersey. There's another jersey, sort of knitted cotton. Looks like a cotton. Possibly linen. That one's unusual. It's got the 4 holes. You don't often see them like that. That looks like a cotton, I think. It's got a bit of blue on the side there. And then this little floral. So they were cute. They came home, obviously. And again, they're not, those coloured ones aren't as vintage as the cream linen. But they're a bit cute. Then I picked these ones up. These are old. So we've got these two, and I can feel there's something under there that's lumpy. But look at that fabric. I reckon this would be 20s, 30s. And then we've got the same print. I thought they were absolutely gorgeous, those two. And this one. Unfortunately, this fabric's all, look at that. But it's gorgeous, that button. Then these, they found these 2 woven buttons. They're a bit worn out. But I'd imagine they're potentially vintage as well. And then this linen one that's a bit unusual. Actually, you know what that is? I don't think it's a button. I think it might be the backing out of one of them. Interesting, but I think it could be used as a button. It's actually hand stitched around that one. And again, I didn't pay anywhere near these prices for these. Then I found these two, which I believe are potentially 1920s as well. They're quite unusual. They've got these, that poor shank's bent over, but they're carved out of the back. There's some sort of plastic. I've only got the 2 of them. I'm assuming it's plastic. Might not be. It feels plasticky. But then these bits on the front here have got a shimmer in them, and I didn't notice that until I got them home. They're quite unusual. So I don't know what they are, but they're obviously, you know, 20s, 30s. And then I found all these. Some of these are Bakelite, I believe. These are older ones. I don't know what these are. Whatever it is, it's cracking. I thought it was Bakelite, but I don't know if... I have to do some research. Don't know if Bakelite actually cracks like that. I suppose it could. So yeah, those ones. And then... these would be 1930s, a lot of these, 20s, 30s. So we've got these 4. And again, I'm not sure if these, I think these would potentially be Bakelite, a lot of them. They could be something else. I don't know enough about them. These two are, these are Art Deco, look at that. So probably 30s, these two. These two are old, but I think these may have been boiled because I don't think they're supposed to bend like this. See how they're sort of wavy? I don't think they're supposed to do that. But I thought they were pretty cool. Here's another two Art Deco. Again, I think Bakelite. Then we've got these ones, and I think most of these are the same. This has actually got, it's hard to see, there's a bit of a raised ridge there and then some lines running in that direction. So that's Art Deco-esque. Again, it has some little lines on it. Another, this one's actually got tiny little red flecks in it. This one's cracking. I thought that pattern was meant, I don't know if you can see that, it's got sort of an arrow-shaped pattern in there. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or if that's just how it's cracked. This looks like another Art Deco. Look at that one, that's pretty cool. Just a simple little round one. That's just a little, it's another little glass one, I think. There's a little blue Bakelite. I like the blue colour. It's a cute little swirly one. Again, most of these are going to be 1920s, 1930s. This one's cute. I don't know what this material is, but it could be Bakelite actually. It's all mottly. I really like that one. And we've got this. This looks Art Deco to me. It is coloured. There's sort of mottly, almost shimmery colours in there. This one, I don't know what it is. I think it could potentially be horn. Don't know. Little floral one. I thought this was 70s at first, but the 70s weren't quite as detailed as this, so I think it might be a little bit older. This is an Art Deco, look at that. I don't know if that's picking it up. It's got two lines carved across here and then like sun rays going out at the top. And then it's got all these little crosses carved in it, in rows, down the bottom here. That one's very cool. And then this one, which I don't know what this is. I thought it was plastic, then I'm starting to think it could potentially be horn. Don't know. Then we've got this little, looks like another Art Deco Bakelite. And then this one, another Art Deco. So they were pretty cool. And that's it for the buttons. But wait, there's more. Oops-a-daisy. Okay, now. Then I got Now I will be sharing this because I've got about 35 metres of it. Beautiful cotton lace. Now this one could be quite versatile potentially. You could easily cut around this and turn that into an insert or an edging and then use that separately, or keep it as it is and change the ribbon in it. So I've got, I think this one's 9.9 metres, so I'll probably list some of this by the metre. I've got 13.2 metres in that bundle, and then I've got another 13 metres. So I will definitely be sharing some of that. Then this was gifted to me, this piece of Ada, and someone's done a little pretty little pastel heart in there, cross stitch. They've started another one over here, and then there's just a little yellow marker in there. But apart from that, there's nothing else on there. So I used to have some of this years ago, but I think the one I had was white. This is more of an ecru and off-white. So yeah, that piece was given to me. Not sure if I'll hang on to that or move it on. It's lovely fabric. I think that was out in the 90s from memory. Then I was gifted this pretty little cross stitch, and every one of those crosses lays in a different direction, but that's okay. That's a pretty little one. I think I'll probably use that. Then I was gifted this that's unfinished, but look at this. The stitching on this is something else. Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? Wow. And things like this is one of the reasons I still collect the vintage cottons to finish things off. Or look at the work on that. It's absolutely exquisite. So it's an unusual fabric. I don't remember what this sort of fabric's called, but looking at the type of fabric, the colour, the design, I would imagine this would be another 1920s. This even came with it. Even tells you what kind of stitches to do. Huh, how about that? So yeah, that's quite spectacular, that one. It's beautiful fabric. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what it is. It's a woven... I'm not even sure if it's cotton or linen. I've got a feeling it could be linen, to be honest. I hope you can't hear my neighbours screaming at each other. Don't know what's going on in there. I'm trying not to listen. Then I was gifted this one again. This one's not finished, but this one has been done in silk. It's absolutely exquisite once again. Look at this. Now this one I can't work out because it's two pieces of fabric sewn together like it's a cushion or a cushion cover, but there's no openings. So I don't know how they've stitched that. That's folded, that's the fold there. And then, oh, there is one. Oh, do you know how many times I tried to find this last night? Oh my goodness. I must have kept doing the same bloody side. every time. I'm missing this side, obviously. Oh, what a fruitcake. So this is linen, beautiful quality linen. There is some stains on this. I don't know what on earth they could be, but if I can... done it again. I keep going to the wrong side to try and open it. So trying to show you, look at this. So my friend who gave it to me thought I'd be able to cut around these and use them as applique, which potentially I could, but I think I'd like to try and finish them, but I don't know how. I might go back and see if she's got any silk in stock. Look, this is a bit moth-eaten over here, but isn't it absolutely gorgeous? And again, from the design, I would guess that's potentially 1920s again as well. So yeah, that was a gift, that one. I'm just going to have a bit of coffee. It'll be cold now. We've had rain the last few days, which has been nice. It's cooled down. Thank goodness we don't have that stifling, humid heat we've had. This is something else that came home yesterday, which is really interesting because I didn't realise until I opened this up last night. If you'd noticed a few videos ago, my friend gave me a bag of little medallions, and they're quite unusual. They had these funny tape, woven needle lace tape that had been crocheted around. When I opened this up, it's got the same tape in the middle. I've never seen this tape before. So yeah, I think there's 2 meters that someone's crocheted. Isn't it beautiful? Imagine that as a tie on a vintage needle book. So I got that one, and then I got, and I'm not sure if I will keep this or list it, but have a look at this, still in the box. Embroidered supper set. So there's a 34 by 34 inch supper cloth and 4 matching serviettes. It does have some yellow in on it, as you can see, which I would say is sticky tape or double-sided tape. They used to use double-sided sticky tape to hold these together, but it's interesting too because, oh no, it has been, it's all taped together, but the lid doesn't seem to be where it should be. But anyway, check out this, even just for this cardboard, look at that on the back. Isn't that spectacular? So yes, another lovely vintage find there. I'll just move that out of the way. This was given to me by another friend yesterday, a scarf. I just thought I'd show you this. Not something I'd normally go for, but it's quite pretty. Look at that. It's got a lovely, lovely pastel. I might even wear it. Then I got this piece. Another linen that hasn't been worked. Isn't it gorgeous? Look, imagine those poppies done. It's another piece that came home. It's a beautiful quality linen. That's quite heavy. Now these next ones, I was so chuffed. I walked past these several times because they were a bit more than what I'd normally pay for anything like this, but I ended up going back because I thought I could share them. Now have a look. This is a vintage 1970s sheet. So I've got 2 of these so I can potentially share these. Beautiful apricot colour. I haven't looked for brands yet. This one's made in Australia, 100% cotton. So I don't think much of anything's made in Australia anymore. These are in immaculate condition that I can see. I can't see any marks or damage on any of them. There's the second one. Then these ones are exciting. I've got two of these 1970s vintage cotton sheets. Again, I had a quick look for labels last night. I couldn't see anything. I was hoping they might have had brand on them. No, can't see anything. Which doesn't really matter. We still know they're vintage. We still know they're 100% cotton. Lovely, lovely vintage sheets. Aren't they gorgeous? So again, two of those. And then one single, another vintage single. Beautiful colours. I was only thinking the other day I'd love to try and get my hands on some purples and blues. And then this one popped up. But wait, there's still more. Then I found these placemats. These, as you can see, these medallions are knitted and then they're crocheted together to make placemats. I've got 8 of these and a runner. So I could potentially share some of these. Oh, they're slightly different colour. Maybe it's been soaked. But what I was thinking too is we could deconstruct these and use the medallions. So yeah. They're still coming. 8. I can't believe how many there were. Oh, how cheap they were. And then here's the runner. So there's 3 medallions on the runner. So there's those. I'll just knock the label on the floor. Then there's a set of 5 napkins. Some of these have stains on them, but there's only 5 of these, which is unusual. I think obviously there's one lost. I think they're cotton. Then this is linen. I've got 2 of these. Very pretty. There's the second one. Then another linen. And another linen. Some stains and pen on that one. Then a hanky that's got some marks on it too. This was interesting. This was the only thing I saw in this shop, this particular shop. And I took it up and said, oh, I'll just buy that, please. And she said, I can't charge you for that, just take it. She wouldn't let me give her any money. Then I've got this is listed as a placemat, but I think it might be a fingertip towel. And it needs to be soaked. It's handmade because the edging's really wonky. But what I noticed, it's been edged. So it's been sewn, turned over and stitched down. And then they've added this lovely crochet edging, but they've put it on backwards. So that was interesting. That one was worth it just for that crochet edging. Then I got 3 of these, and it looks like someone's hand crocheted these edges on them. These are unusual though. These are interesting because I'll show you why. They need to be soaked too. This top one has some threads in it, like it's been stitched. And I thought, oh, it might have just been, you know, when they're packaged, sometimes they stitch them to hold them together. But then when I go over to this next one, it looks like they've tried to stitch a word or a name or something on it. THGOL, I don't know what it is. So that's definitely been stitched deliberately. So that was unusual. I'm just trying to fold these again so they don't get crushed. Not that it's going to matter too much because they need to be soaked. Then we get to some pretties. And I can't believe I found these. And honestly, the lady charged me less than $1 for these. This is a linen. This is hand stitched. Look at that. Fingertip towel. That's very cute. And then I found, this is one of the prettiest ones of these I've found. I don't come across these often. Some people seem to find a lot of these, but I don't. This is linen, this one. Most of the others I've got a cotton, but it does have a little hole in it there, which is not the end of the world. She needs to be soaked too. Then this beautiful one, this is all hand stitched as well, look at that. And that goes all the way across. Some dreadful stains, I hope these come out. Look at that stain on that one. This is probably why I got them so cheap. But look at that. That embroidery is immaculate. And then look at the back. Wow. That one. And then another linen one. This is covered in stains too. Look, I'll show you the stain, one stain for starters, but look at this. Petty point. Isn't it exquisite? Irises. And another linen one, and it's the same. This fabric is beautiful. Don't know if that monitor's showing that well, but this is a beautiful apricot colour. It's not orange. Then I found this little number. I don't often come across these either. I'm just trying to work out the front. I probably should move those so I can show you this a bit more clearly. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you then. this one. So I ended up going, there was the one at the doctor's, and then on the way home I literally drove past, there's a cluster of, aren't they gorgeous? They're absolutely gorgeous, Kathleen. They need to be soaked. They're, I've been responding to your email, Kathleen. I have sat down 3 times and I keep thinking of more things to say to you, so it's getting longer and longer and longer. But I am responding to you. Yeah, these op shops. There's the one a few doors up from my doctor's that I had a look in. And then there's a set of a block, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 all next door to each other. And I don't often stop there because it's just, but I did yesterday. So these have come from all different places, and every single store I went into, the people were so friendly, which doesn't often happen, and every single person I saw yesterday insisted on giving me a discount on everything or throwing things in for nothing. So it was really nice. This is a very fine needle woven lace, which I thought was exquisite. It is a bit damaged, that corner's torn out there, and I noticed there's a couple of little tears down here, but it's so fine and exquisite. Look at that. So that one. And then I got these little, and I don't often see crocheted sandwich tray cloths, but look at this little one. Imagine that in a needle book. So there's actually 2 of these. And look, I was so chuffed at the things I found yesterday. Then I've got this another little sandwich tray cloth. This is hand stitched, this one, linen. Again, needs to be soaked, but it's quite unusual, that one. Another linen sandwich tray cloth. That one's very pretty. It is actually hand stitched. I didn't think it was, but it is. Look at that. Look at the detail in that. It's a bit hard to see. It's getting dark. It's not getting dark, it's overcast. Another little sandwich tray cloth. This one's unusual too. Another handmade linen one. But have a look. I say it's unusual because I was going to say the ends don't match, but they do. They're just, I thought they were completely different shapes, but they're not. They're just a bit wonky. So another little sandwich tray cloth. Again, perfect for needle books. And then look at these. I was so excited when I saw these because a girlfriend brought me a pair of these home from Italy years ago, and I ended up using them to make things with, and I was kicking myself for years, but I found these coasters. If they're not the same, they're very similar. So there's 4 in there. They're actually Nottingham lace, so they're not going to be the same. Oh, and then I found these. My goodness, it just keeps going. This is linen, again, with crochet edge. So again, needs to be soaked, and there was 2 of those. There's a bit of a hole in the linen there, but that's okay. Sometimes I'll patch that up. And a matching larger one, but they're so fine and delicate. Look at that linen. Absolutely gorgeous. Kathleen, I did look again for some men's shirts for you in your colours yesterday. I couldn't find anything. Another linen fingertip towel. Have a look at this one. Isn't that exquisite? Hand stitched again. Even the buttonhole edging down the bottom, look at that. So pretty. And then I'm on the last set here, so I'm nearly done. But now I saw a video the other day that I think Rachel did of Roxy. I think it was Rachel. She'd picked up one of these, and I'm pretty sure it was one of these. I've got to go back and double check. And I have never seen these before. And if it's the same as what she'd picked up, she said they're very rare. But have a look at this. It's absolutely exquisite. Look how fine it is. I don't think I've seen anything like it before. It's obviously some kind of bobbin lace. But not only did I get that one, I also got two little matching ones. Aren't they amazing? Look at that. So yes, that was my very good day yesterday. So I'm going to list some of these or share some in my D-stash on Instagram. I'll try and upload those today. I need to move some stuff on already. I'll definitely be sharing the lace, that this one. Definitely be sharing that one. Possibly a couple of those with the knitted medallions in them. Possibly some sheeting. I'll be sharing some of the florals here. But yeah, I'll try and get those uploaded today, because I need to get some more things moving along. And then before we go, I thought I'd show you where I'm up to with my needle books. So I've been working on this one. How it ended up going from the pink to this, I don't know. I just got on a bit of a run with this one. As you can see, she's squishing out the sides a bit here, which is not what I wanted to happen, but I've decided to run with it. So she's getting a bit chunky. So let's have a look and see what I'm up to with this. Open it up. And we've got the pocket in the inside here. And then this piece of vintage lace that I've hand dyed. I was very skeptical to add that, but I think I'll leave it because I think it works. Then I've got this piece of vintage linen embroidered, and I'm going to stitch in, that's a piece of wool felt. Oh, that will be awesome. Okay, so I won't be looking for any more shirts for you. That's cool. I can't wait till these packages can get to you. I'm excited for you. If you're watching along and don't know what I'm talking about, Kathleen, one of my subscribers and friend now, is messaging me while I'm talking. And poor Kathleen lives in Canada. I live in Australia. And Kathleen's been waiting for some parcels, not just from me, but from Beck of So Be Curated, and potentially some other people as well. But Australia Post is not accepting parcels to Canada yet since the strike. So Kathleen's been waiting incredibly patiently for us to send those parcels in the mail to her. And I'm getting quite excited for her to receive them. So back to this, I've cut out this piece of vintage linen. This was a cutter piece that was given to me, and I've cut a piece of it out of the cutter piece. I'm going to sew on this wool felt, almost exactly the same colour as that cotton down there, which is interesting. And I stitched on this little strawberry hexagon before I decided to do that, but I think I'll leave that there. You'll notice here there's green in here as well. I've added that green stitch. I decided to leave the Doctor's Flannel raw edge. I thought that looked pretty cool. So where I've stitched that on, so I attached that to that piece of linen. Then I've put a pocket here. That'll all come out. That's just the basting stitch to hold that wool on the front, so I remember where I'm putting it. Then I've got this vintage hanky that I crocheted around, and I added some little, this is petite pan hexagons on there. I was quite happy with that. Could be a bit neater, but, and I think I will, I want to stitch around that, I think. I'm not sure yet. And then we turn that over to that embroidered page, and then we have another pocket here in that hanky. Then I've got a piece of vintage, not vintage, bloody wool felt for pins and needles and whatnot. I've tacked this lace on. I don't know if it will stay. I'm not convinced I like that bit there yet. I do like the little scallops hanging out though. But yes, I'm not convinced that that will stay yet. Then I have got this in the middle, and I've left it so you can put things under it if you want. And then we turn that wool felt over, and again, the things that are basted in, I'm not entirely sure they're going to stay yet, but I found that piece of linen that I think I'll stitch in, although looking through that monitor there's a bit of a stain there. I didn't notice. I can't see it with the naked eye, so that might not go in. My dog's suddenly telling me she wants to go outside. She's pressing the outside button. I feel like I need to add something here. I haven't decided yet. There's another pocket. We turn that over, and I've started to stitch on some vintage puffs. Now that is because that hanky was too big, so I decided to turn that into a page. And then on the back side I had this piece of linen that I've decided to stitch in. I've just started stitching that in too. We've got another, I know baby, I can hear you. Can you let me finish please? I'm nearly done. Another piece of Doctor's Flannel, and I've attached a folded hexagon that I made out of some vintage cotton. And then we turn this page over, and we've got the other side of that linen. And then I've got this, and I'm not happy with it yet. I don't know what I'm going to do to finish that off. And then we've got our pocket page. Part of me wants to add more pages, but it's just getting, it's so bulky. I think I just need to finish it off now. And you can probably see here, when I pressed it, the colour ran, which I don't know why that happened. So that's a bit of a bum. I haven't decided on, I can hear you sweetheart. Let me just finish this please darling. She's got speech buttons and she's pressing the buttons to tell me she wants to go outside. I haven't decided on what I'm going to use as a wrap yet. I have dug a couple out. I did think I liked this one, but it's a bit too pink. It just doesn't work. So that was my first thought. Doesn't work, so I'm not going to use that. And of course, I can't see the other pieces that I had dug out to use. I think this one's too chunky and it's the wrong colour. It's just too chunky for this little book, I think. So that was another one I dug out to try, but it's not working for me. I've tried quite a few, but I was surprised that a lot of them just didn't look right. This one's a bit of a tricky one. I'm just reaching down to grab a couple of others I had pulled out. This is another one I tested, which could potentially work, but I think it's a bit too fine for this chunky monkey. And then the other one I've been looking at is this one, which obviously I'd have to move along because that bit's torn. This is the other. I think it'll end up being this one, to be honest. So that's what I'm up to. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to sign off because Missy needs to go outside. I'd say it's time for a toilet break. And then I will photograph these things I'm going to put in the D-stash, and I'll try and upload those today. So keep an eye out. Kathleen, I will finish that email to you. There's a couple of people waiting for me to send parcels. I don't think... I was hoping to get them done yesterday or today. It's only Thursday. Hopefully I might get them done tomorrow. It's just difficult to get to the post office at the moment for me. I think the couple of people that are waiting, not Kathleen, the other couple have been happy to... They're not in a hurry, but I want to get them sent off. So if you are watching, I haven't forgotten, and they will be on their way. So, is there anything else I need to tell you while I remember? I don't know. I'm trying to get the needle books finished so I can upload them to my Made It store. Oh, there's been a couple of you who have been wanting to buy from my Made It store. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been having issues with payment. It's my issues, not Made It's issues. We have to enter our own postage variables, and I thought I had it all sorted. Please stop yelling at me. Let me finish. The more you yell at me, the longer it's going to take. Okay? So just shush for another couple of minutes. You've been very patient. Thank you. But just let me wind up. Okay, darling? I need to enter all the different variables, not only for every separate country, but every state within each country. And I thought I'd had it worked out. I had it functioning for Australia, but I had entered incorrect pricing, so I've gone back in to fix it and add some other countries. There was a lady in the UK that wanted to purchase. Unfortunately, I've ballsed it up. I'm still trying to go through all the tutorials to get it happening. If you do want to purchase from my Made It store and the payment won't go through, please contact me and I will sort something out. I would prefer it if you bought through Made It, if possible, because I pay a lot of money for that shop to be up, and it's a safe method for you as the buyer and me as the seller. It's protected, it's safe, and it's a really good platform. It's very new to me and I'm still learning how to use it, so I apologize sincerely. If you do want to make a purchase through there, as I said, please, and it won't go through, please contact me and I will work something out. If you want to buy something from my D-stash, as I said, some of the things I've shown today I will be uploading into my D-stash page on Instagram, and that is at Gladys and Maude Unearthed. There is a link in my YouTube bio to that page. Anything else, just drop me a comment, please, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And once again, I thank you all so very much for being here and for watching and for sharing and for showing an interest and for everything else. I'm incredibly grateful to you all, and I'm quickly going to get going and take Missy out to the loo. And yeah, thanks again. Be safe, be happy, and Be kind, and I'll see you next time.